estate planning, and how does it, the role of the estate planning in economic recovery for the post-COVID-19. Alright, let me use the podium instead. Alright, okay. So this is actually, when we talk about securing wealth, what does it pop up out of your mind? What is when we talk about securing wealth? It's actually more about the, how to use it? Yeah, a bit low. Already read. Okay, come on. Okay, thank you. So this is when we talk about COVID-19 pandemic. It's actually a sudden and unprecedented pandemic that announced by WHO in 2020, right? Which is actually gives some kind of significant economic contractions, especially loss of livelihoods and increase in inequality, especially in terms of wealth disparity between the richest and the poor, especially. Alright, in this context, the importance of estate planning has become to the forefront as a means of securing legacies and facilitating economic recovery. Alright, so what does it mean? So this is actually the economic impact of the COVID-19, whereby we can see that this pandemic has highlighted the importance of estate planning. Alright, with many people planning estate plan for the future. Alright, this is actually a statistic. It showed that 32% of Americans vote will during COVID-19 because they are actually afraid of that kind of incapacitation of death during that time. In Asian countries, right, awareness of estate planning has surged, especially in Malaysia and Singapore. Right, what does it mean? Estate planning in Malaysia language. Right, estate planning is actually pewarisan harta, pengurusan harta. Alright, okay. What does it? It refers to the making the appropriate arrangements to organize our assets and to distribute them most efficiently as permitted by the law. This is actually defined by Community in 2017. The key element in the intergeneration wealth distribution process is estate planning. Alright, okay, and the process involves two stages. First, okay, whereby the asset will be transferred to the recognized heirs or particular person or preferred institutions will authorized to deal with the estate upon death. And then the second stage will be on the estate distribution process, which will be commenced after the debts of the deceased have been settled according to the stipulated law. In the Muslim, for the Muslim, it's actually based on faraid laws, right? Okay, the advantage, of course, efficient wealth distribution, reduced disputes, and ensuring harmonious relationships. Right, and estate planning is not just about distribution, right, of wealth after the death, but it is actually a crucial strategy for ensuring financial stability and resilience for families and businesses, especially in the post-pandemic landscape. So this is actually, as what you know, right, when we talk about estate planning framework, okay, I tabulated, okay, based on the Malaysian context and also Indonesian context. Basically, there are actually governing laws that is actually hindering some kind of estate planning engagement among Muslim and non-Muslim in Malaysia. Alright, but basically, alright, for non-Muslim, okay, our governing laws pertaining to estate is actually based on Distribution Act 1958, whereby for the Muslims, they are enacted by the Islamic inheritance laws, which is faraid. Whereby in the context of Indonesian, okay, the governing laws is actually basically based on civil law, civil code, and also Islamic inheritance laws. Alright, the key instrument is it is actually a similar, between Malaysia and Indonesia, right, whereby the wills, trust, hibah, and also wakalah in the Indonesian context. But again, when we talk about the reformation between the two countries, is that in Malaysian country, alright, when we talk about estate planning industry, they are more engaging on the simplification of will writing procedure, whereby we have a lot of bureaucracy and some kind of lengthy processes between, in order for the estate to be administered upon death. And then for the Indonesian context, I've read and I did a lot of research on the estate planning in the Indonesian context also. Their effort is more on to increase the awareness and accessibility of estate planning services. So this is actually how estate planning is actually a tool for resilience and recovery. First of all, it protects your assets. Alright, why? It is actually to, as what I mentioned earlier, right, estate planning actually ensure assets to be distributed to an individual wishes. Right, this is actually the citation from my systematic literature review, alright, on estate planning, alright, minimizing potential disputes and also safeguarding family wealth. And the next one will be, this is actually a new emergence research on estate planning, whereby the future research is more pertaining to the business continuity, alright. For the entrepreneurs, especially estate planning facilitate, alright, the smooth transition of business ownership, alright, preventing disruption that could lead to economic losses. What happened if, let's say, the funder of the business then suddenly died, alright, who will be the next successor, and what happened to the particular assets of the business? So this is actually the thing, and it gives some kind of transition, becomes smoother. And then this is actually again crucial for preserving jobs and supporting economic recovery. And the last one, this is actually interesting, in the responding to the Islamic financial literacy presentation made by Associate Professor Dr. Isma just now. The Islamic financial literacy stated that when we talk about Malaysian level of estate planning in Malaysia is still poor, right? So this is actually incongruent with the emergence of the estate planning in terms of the wealth transfer and the financial literacy, right? It promotes actually responsible wealth transfer across generation, fostering financial literacy and ensuring that future generations are quick to manage assets effectively. Alright, when we talk about microeconomic effect of estate planning, so this is actually the thing that I just went over on, again, my future research on estate planning. The first one is actually, again, to enhance financial stability. Right, it fosters a culture of saving, whereby if, let's say, the individual knows how to manage the asset upon death, they can during their lifetime, they will start to save. Why? Because they know that the asset will be properly managed upon their death, right? And the second one is actually provide a stable financial foundation for families and also individuals. The next one effect will be it will give sustainable economic growth, to contribute to the long and sustainable economic growth. And the last one is actually increased customer spending, alright. As families accumulate wealth through inheritance, consumer spending increases. While when the asset already transferred back to the heirs can do the amount of the assets and generate more economic activities from that kind of inheritances, right? Rather than the property became freeze over time, they can use that property, that assets, to generate more economic activities out of that. So this is actually the good side of estate planning. And when we talk about the bridging gap of future estate planning studies, is that the first one we want to tackle about the lack of awareness. Only 63% of the Malaysians who already have wills. Alright, this is actually similar to Americans and also Australians statistic, which is actually very low, alright, compared to the possession of other financial products. Alright, the second one will be cultural barriers. When we talk about estate planning, what do you think? It linked to death, right? I may delay about the discussion about my management of asset because it's linked to the death, alright, especially among Chinese people or even among Muslim itself. Alright, they preview that the estate planning will link to the superstitious or taboo. Alright, so how to uplift that kind of financial behavior while we still have the stumbling block in front of us, which is that kind of taboo subject. Alright, and the last one will be complexity and cost. Okay, they think, another cost relating to estate planning for 5% out of assets to be charged and whatnot. So all this is actually the barriers for the individuals to plan for their estates. And again, this is actually the future of the role of stakeholders, especially between the government of Malaysia and also Indonesia. Okay, on part of government, maybe they can simplify the regulation, especially in the context of Malaysian, and also to raise public awareness through campaigns and financial education. In Malaysia, we call as Financial Education Network (FEN). Right? They just finish off their their financial week during this October. And also, when we talk about financial institution, they can integrate the estate planning into financial services, provide educational resources, and offer accessible solutions to clients. And when we talk about legal professional, because estate planning and legal professional is actually very interlinked. So why not the legal professionals may offer clear and concise advice, develop innovation estate planning tools, and also participate in public awareness initiative. Alright, so this is actually the trends in estate planning. The first one, digitalization and accessibility, to provide all the online platform and digital tools. The second one will be on focus on sustainability, whereby they should emphasize on the philanthropic goals and sustainability investing principle to their estate planning. And the last one, estate planning should be imparted as personalized solution. Alright, whereby the advisor will tailor the solution to the individual needs and circumstances. So, in conclusion, again, securing the future estate planning for generations to come. Even though you are still young, you should think of what happened to the next, because life is so uncertainty right now. I always tell my students, life is uncertain. So please prepare your financial planning as early as you can, including estate planning. Alright, so by that, I would love to also, so this is the reference from my literature review for the topic. Alright, that's all from my guest lectures. I hope that you can tell the gist of what is actually the importance of estate planning. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Annie, for that very insightful discussion on securing wealth and inheritance. Next, we have Dr. Gigi Fitrianto from UGM. So, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, dear colleagues, and I am very happy to be able to share my research and my colleagues' research regarding special records of commodity price across market. Let me introduce first myself. My name is Gigi Fitrianto. You can call me Gigi. My field research focusing on regional economics and spatial econometrics. And nowadays I also try to incorporate the socio-economic data set and the environmental analysis, especially using the satellite data. So when the first time that the Dr. Dia Fitriani asked me to share the research regarding the post-COVID-19, actually I do not have a lot of research comparing the before and after COVID, but this is my current ongoing research with my colleagues, Pak Wahyu, Pak Paudi. So together we are trying to looking for the interlinkage between commodity price across region, but in this case we much more specific in between local market. So this session I would like to share the current progress, and then maybe if there are any insightful for the dear colleagues here to improve the research, I'm really happy. And well, particularly we would like to see usual approach when we deal with the price forecasting model. We usually emphasize only in the temporal information. So usually we use the previous data, T-1, T-2, and so on and so forth. But usually we overlook the spatial information, even though that it's a common fact that let's say the price for granulated sugar or the price of rice in one area, it might be affected from the other region or the neighboring region due to a lot of factors, such as due to the supply chain or maybe due to the similar similar producer or something like that. So a lot of the common factors that might affect the price situation, or when we deal with the forecasting the price by include the spatial information in this case. So this missing information contains critical component for understanding price information into graphically. It's quite awkward to stand there. It's too narrow. When you proper Akbar at large. It's okay. Understanding the price information. So we try to looking this interlinkage connection across local market. We comparing before COVID and then the after COVID. We find quite interesting result, and that we would like to share to all of you. So the idea is that the market itself is not isolated. The price of a commodity in one location can significantly influence the price in neighboring or connected markets. Failure to account these special dependencies could lead to incomplete or inaccurate price prediction. We will show you later on for this result. We try to compare when we include the special information and without the special information. Especially when we deal with the commodities that rely on integrated supply chain. So, for example, if there is something happen during the period for rice or paddy field harvesting period, and then there is a flood happening in some areas, let's say in Central Java, due to this supply chain that may affect the distribution of the price, not only in the Central Java, but also, let's say, in happening to the Yogyakarta, East Java and West Java. So we try to connect the dots. So this research aims to investigate the inclusion of spatial information and explore the relationship between local commodity price, between market, and their neighboring market. So our research in this case try to not only deal with the district or city level data, but we try to looking for the local market data. So very specific local market based on their coordinate information, and we try to implement in this model. To accomplish this, we use daily-based data on several essential commodities on all local market across Jawa Timur Province, Indonesia. So why we choose the Jawa Timur Province? Because there is a specific data set called Siska Perbako, which capturing all the information for all commodity price in all markets in Jawa Timur. Unfortunately, there is no quite good or maybe a quite large data for the Yogyakarta, but hopefully that later on we can have this kind of data to across Indonesia, so to improve the analysis. So the basic idea, the concept of the regional nexus is basically how to can observe the regional interlinkage, and later on we can observe the spillover effect across the region or in the market in this case. So there are actually two approach that usually used. As they call, the first one is called interregional input-output, and then the second one that we will use is the spatial econometrics model, which has several advantages. Especially we can use any multidisciplinary variable, not only for the socio-economic data set, but it has quite significant weakness, which in some case, some model, it might be include more complicated ways to estimate or to do the forecasting. Okay, so in this case, we will try to looking for the price spillover, specific for the impact, how to measure the spillover effect of a given change of price from one local market to the commodity price in the neighboring market. So to do so, there are two methods to approach this. The first one is spatial detection test, including the Warren's eye test and the C test. And for the second one is spatial econometric analysis. We try to looking for the spatial econometric model specific for dynamic time series decomposition of spatial panel model to include the dynamic component, not only for the temporal component but also the temporal spatial temporal component. So this is the idea to looking for the nexus. So for example, here we have three local markets, and then we try to measure the distance between those three pairs between market 1, market 2, market 3, and we try to use this weighted value for the inverse distance to measure the interlinkage, the interconnectedness between let's say market 1 and market 2, market 2, market 3, and market 1 to market 3. And then we try to use this information to calculate the connection between those markets. The usual approach, we use Warren's eye statistic. Well, this basically we try to compare the component, how important the weighted information, the weighted component in the. So it's basically we conducting the correlation analysis with the spatial information. The value is between -1 to +1, so it's quite similar to the correlation analysis, a simple correlation analysis. And then if we have negative value, we have dispersion, which means that the local market, in one local market and the neighboring market, there is no special pattern. So for example, they are both moving differently. So for example, in the market A, the price is going up, but for the market B, it might be way down. But for the clustering, the pattern is the same. So for example, the market A is going up, then the neighboring market, all the neighboring market also going up. And this is the second approach, the KDC. So basically the same, but KDC try to control the weakness of Warren's eye. So basically the same correlation analysis. So to do so, we conducting for four essential commodities in Jawa Timur province. They are shallot, chili, medium quality rice, and granulated sugar. Focusing on median price. So we use daily data, but we're looking for the median value for all the days within 1 month. So the data, so the analysis based on monthly data. Between January 2018 to December 2023. Okay. So maybe the time. This is some the result. The shading area is basically a period during COVID and after COVID. The left graph is basically measuring the value of Moran's eye, and then the right hand graph is measure the p-value. So either the value is significant or not. So for the shallow, it's basically quite the same. All of them has positive value of Moran. It means they are both. So for one market, when the shallow going up, the price, then the neighboring market is also going up. So they are moving in the same direction, and the result also the same for the p-value. Both are significant, but later on in the other commodities we can observe that during COVID and after COVID, the significance is going up. So for example, the next one, let's see. For the chili and then medium quality rice, the p-value, the significant component is going. There is quite interesting result here. So during the COVID, the interaction between interlinkage between market regarding the medium quality rice price is going up. The interlinkage is going up, and the significant value is going down. It means during the COVID there is greatly increase the significance of interlinkage between COVID. Well, it need to be more conducting more deep analysis, but we suspected this might due to the survival condition. So for during the COVID period, we know that the quite significant impact or shock. Therefore, the only survival in this case is only producer with the high capital. So during the COVID, the smaller producer might not survive. So after that, the supply chain for several area in Jawa Timur, very specific in only for specific like a big enterprises or big producer in this case. So it might causes this kind of phenomenon. Then after that is quite interesting that after during the recovery, it's not significant anymore. So after that, we may also suspect that the smaller one or the new one is become also recovery after the COVID. So nowadays, for the medium quality rice, it's not only focusing on one or two or three specific producer, but we also know it's much more dispersed. And this is also happening for granulated sugar. Granulated sugar is much more specific here, so it's the impact is quite clear. You see here that the after. So for the four commodities we observe after the COVID period, it's much more clear that now between market the interlinkage is really high. So one market in Surabaya might be correlated with one market in Sidoarjo, or maybe in Malang, or maybe in Kediri and so on. So we can observe this kind of condition. And if we use this one, so if we would like to conducting the price forecast, then we need to include this kind of information. Why? Because now we between the impact of one price in one market might be affected from the other markets. So to do so, we move the next step to include this information. Sorry. This information into the spatial econometric model. So maybe I will try to moving fast. So we include this into the model. So well, it's not that complicated actually. So this is just information of price, and then this is the information for temporal. This is temporal information of price is commodities, and this is WY is basically information for all neighboring price from neighboring market, and then the last component is basically the temporal information of neighboring information, spatial. So we call it the dynamic endogenous effect. So the temporal effect plus the spatial component. And then we decompose this spatial panel model into the time series model like this. We can simplify the model like this. It's much more simple. And then simple because we just put the comment in R to observe the data. So we try to compare 5 models. We use part1, ARIMA, XTL ARIMA, and also the RTL models. And then we compare the performance of all those 5 models using 4 evaluation criterion. We have AKIK, Bayesian information criterion, mean absolute percentage error, and mean percentage error. So far, based on those results, when we include the spatial information, especially we also include in the temporal spatial information in IRDL model, for all those 4 commodities, the best model to do the price forecasting is IRDL. So those among all those 4 commodities, IRDL with different combination, of course. Some of them is 1-4, 2-4, 3-4, but in a way, the RDL, when we include not only the temporal information, the spatial information, and also the temporal spatial information, we obtain much more higher, the higher performance, the best performance among those 5 models, which is reflected by the smallest percentage error. So for example, for the chili commodity, the RDL is about 0.04% of error. So it's really small compared to the other method that around 0.34 or 0.36. Okay, this is the conclusion. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is our ongoing research. Well, hopefully we can improve by using a much more detailed model, maybe, or maybe considering including the other spatial configuration, which include the independent variable or control variable to improve the analysis. But in a way, we based on our observation, that the highly significant spatial relationship, when we include those information, we can obtain the base model so far. And then this situation is much more higher. Might be due to the inclusion after the COVID, when the commodities is much more highly interconnected among the local market. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Trianto, for the very informative presentation of spatial analysis. Next, we have Dr. Khalifani Shidiki from UMY. The floor is yours.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Akbar for inviting me here. Actually, I was told on Saturday about this event, and I'm the one who's going to present. Therefore, I can't really learn about the main theme, which is related to the post-COVID-19 future. But, well, it's still related to the economic development. Therefore, today I would like to present my working paper, which is currently being under review in Journal of Population Economics. It is about the educations and ethnic intermarriage, and it is we have the evidence from the higher education expansions in Indonesia. Okay, so before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Khalifani Shidiki. I'm a lecturer at the Department of Economics, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. My research interest is in economics of educations and also labor and demographic economics, as well as the applied microeconometrics. And today, I'm going to present to you one of my paper, and it is the one of the paper that is talk about with the applied microeconometrics. Okay, so this paper, the motivations of this paper, it's we try to connect between how education can have the relationship with the interethnic marriage. Well, the issue here is that interethnic marriage, I mean, especially in the case of Indonesia, in which we have a lot of ethnicities, interethnic marriage can mitigate civil conflicts. And when we have mitigations related to the civil conflicts, at the end, it will give much benefits to the economic development. On the other hand, education can have many benefits, especially when we investing in education. One of the benefits here in education is that education can shape cultural and social norms, fostering interethnic tolerance, which is later on it will bridge the connections to the interethnic marriage. According to the previous literature, well, actually there are lots of literatures on the determinants of the socioeconomic effects of ethnic facial intermarriage for developed countries, especially in the US. And some paper, not many paper, talks about the interethnic marriage in developing countries. And when we look at the research or previous research that is related to the Indonesia, there are a very good paper. It is written by Samuel Batsi with his other colleagues. It was I forgot the title, but it is related to the unity in diversity. It is about interethnic marriage, but not induced by education. And other papers which is still related to Indonesia, it's more descriptive papers trying to find the associations between interethnic marriage and a lot of factors, including educations. However, none of these papers address the issue of causality. And in this paper, we try to provide a causal estimate of the effects of educational attainment, which is induced by the expansions of the higher education institutions on the likelihood of interethnic marriage. We focus on Indonesia because, based on the educational systems, Indonesia promotes a shared national identity and the adoption of the single language, which we just celebrated yesterday during the Youth Pledge Sumpah Pemuda. And also, in Indonesia, we promote a unitary culture, and we have a single language that we call Bahasa Indonesia, and it is promoted through the education system. And more of that, education also foster financial autonomy, which it can reduce the degree of dependency, which is still, we have a lot of problems about the dependency from the family, especially females. And also, more educated people are more likely to migrate, possibly to larger agglomerations. And for example, like maybe a lot of people who educated enough, they tend to move to places or a big city like Jakarta, where more diverse people from different ethnicity are gathered. Okay? So this paper, about the contribution of this paper, this is the first paper that provides causal estimates of the effect of educational attainment induced by the higher education institutions expansions on the likelihood of ethnic intermarriage. Second contributions of this paper is that we provide suggestions suggestive evidence about the role of residential choice, or in other words, it's the internal migrations, and social norms as potential mechanism behind the relationship between education and interethnic marriage. The last one, we contribute to the literature on the effect of higher education expansion, as well as to the literature about the role of education as a tool to mitigate ethnic segregation. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about the ethnicity. Perhaps most of you already know about the ethnicity in Indonesia. And in Indonesia, ethnicity is mostly defined according to the language and also according to the traditions. And in this paper, we only focus on the Java Island. And why it's only focused on Java Island? Because we have a limitation of the data. But luckily, Java is the most populated island in Indonesia. And we have a lot of people coming in from different islands in Indonesia to Java Island. And according to several reports of the statistic report, Javanese, of course, obviously is the largest ethnicity in Java Island, followed by the Sundanese, which is dominated in West Java, and also there is a Betawi, there is a Maduris, and others ethnicity. And in Indonesia, actually, interethnic marriages are widely accepted. It is actually pretty common, but not for the interreligious marriage. I think there is regulations that interreligious marriage cannot happen in Indonesia. Okay, so that's about ethnicity. Now I'm just going to talk a little bit about how was the higher education institution expand in Indonesia. So since the independence of Indonesia in 1945, there was a remarkable expansion which actually beginning during the 60s, especially for the public institutions, and around in the beginning of the 80s, the private universities began to rise. Okay? And this is about the quantity, and I will show you as well about the locations. So in 1960, as you can see, perhaps it is too small. Yes, sorry about that. But until 1960, the locations both for the private and the public universities are located in the big cities. Okay, and until 1990, there are more established universities, not just in the big city, but also in the districts, in the small cities. And until 1995, and also 2007, more universities been established, and not only big city or in a small town, but also in some districts. And in one district, there are more than one universities. Okay, sorry. Okay, so in order to estimate, in order to do the estimations for in this paper, we obtain several sources of the data, which is we collect data about the university from National Accreditation Body of for Higher Education, and it contains informations about the name of the university and when they are established, but not the location. Unfortunately, I have to collect one by one the locations, the latitude and longitude using the Google Map. And for the individual data, we use the Indonesian Family Life Survey. It's a longitudinal data, but we only use the latest wave, which is in 2014. And we merge the informations of the individual data with the data from the about the university, and we try to find the radius. Okay, we're using the radius within 10 kilometers from the centroid of the districts where the individual lives. And unfortunately, in IFLS, in Nation Family Life Survey, we don't have the information where they are actually live based on the geolocations, but we can have like a proxy by using the informations of the districts about where they are live during their entire time. And also we use census data from IPUMS, which is 10% of the census data. We need to use this to create the ethnic fractionalizations at the district level. Okay, so just very quick about the descriptive statistics. As we can see here, or dependent variable, actually it's about exogamy. It's married to different ethnicity, and also we have a years of schooling, which is the dependent variable who is going to affect the probability of being married to different ethnicity, and also the university attendance and university completions. And we separate this descriptive statistic based on males and females, just to see the difference whether males and females have a different average related to the educational outcomes of the exogamy. And okay, so this is still a descriptive, but it is actually the average number of the higher education institutions within 10-kilometer radius per year at the age of 18, meaning that the younger you are, the more university are available surrounding you. Okay, so let's, for example, like people who are 18 at maybe around 2010, they have more university around, so they have more choice to go to the university. But comparing to the people who are at 18 at 1970, for example, there are not many universities around. They have to travel to go to university. Okay, so the setting here, we have, so the individual here, we restrict the sample based on age between 25 and 65, okay, meaning they born at the 1989 to, from 1949 to 1989, which is 18 in 2007, living in Java, married and living together, so that's the other restrictions, and only have one wife, okay. Actually, according to the Indonesian Family Life Survey, on less than 2% who have more than one wife. So if Mas Akbar would like to add one more, you are categorized less than the 2%. Okay, our outcome variable is exogamy, which is having an ethnically married mixed partner. And we have the male regressors, which is the years of education, as well as the college attendance and completions. And we also control for individual covariates, which is based on age, on ethnicity, religion, number of siblings, parental education, as well as ethnically mixed parent. Okay, so basically, since education is endogenous variables, therefore, we need to have the instrumental variable which is going to induce the variable of education. The instrument that we use here is the exposure of the higher education institutions, and we use this exposure as the independent variable in the first stage as a function of the educations. And then after we estimate in the first stage, we have the estimated educations, and we plug that into the main variable, into the main equations, which is estimated education, who are going to affect the probability or the likelihood of exogamy. Okay. Okay, so first we present to you the bias result, which is, this is just a simple OLS. We have an instrument the endogenous variable of the educational variable. As we can see, just from the simple OLS, we have a positive result both for males and females, that the more you are educated, the more the higher likelihood that you are going to marry to the different ethnicity. And when we use the instrumental variable, the result is also the same. Although the coefficient is relatively higher than the OLS one, but actually this is, since we already instrument educations in these estimations, therefore this result is less biased than the one that we had when using with the OLS. So basically we can argue that the higher the educations that we attain, the more likelihood that a person or an individual are going to have a partner or a wife or a husband from a different ethnicity. It means that you are more open-minded in this case. Okay, so we have a lot of robustness checks here. I'm not going to explain one by one since we only have 15 minutes. Oh, okay. Okay. So actually, I can explain to you about the robustness checks by email, but most of the robustness checks are suggesting that the presence of the higher education institution is not capturing anticipated change in the demand for higher education or other local level, unobserved factors that could be directly related to the propensity to form interethnic marriage, and actually, in the short way, all the robustness checks support our main finding. We also did heterogeneous effects. I'm going to skip this. About the potential mechanisms here, it is interesting about the potential mechanisms because we find that being exposed to the higher education institution first has a positive impact on the probability of changing places of residence at between the age of 18 to the year of 2014, which is also exert a positive on the probability of moving to a large city as we expect in the beginning, and also increase ethnic fractionalizations in the district of residence. But we don't find any evidence that being exposed to the higher education institution has no impact on the probability of being an ethnic minority, and being exposed to the higher education institution are less likely to trust others from the same ethnic group more than those from different ethnic background. It means that regardless your ethnicity, the more that you are exposed to educations, the more that you can trust others regardless your ethnicity. Okay, to conclude. Okay, so to conclude here, the main conclusions that I can deliver, because my time is expanding higher education institutions is likely to exert positive effects at the country level, not only because of its direct impact on educational attainment, but also because it could break existing ethnic-related barriers, so you are more open, promoting a sense of unity and reducing ethnic segregations. All these three outcomes are important or crucial, especially for economic development. Okay, thank you very much. That's all for me.
Thank you, Dr. Kalipani. Very interesting. Education, attainment, and ethnic intermarriage. Right, we have our last presenter. The last paper today for this session is from Dr. Mariam Jamila Muhammad Hashim from UITM. The floor is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I'm so sorry because I'm the last speaker, so you have to stay here until I finish my talk. Yeah. Alright. Okay. My name is Mariam Jamila, and I'm from UiTM Puncak Alam. Right. My background is finance studies, but my research is more on the organization performance. Yeah. So that was my PhD topic. Yeah. So I still continue with the topic. Yeah, until now for my research. So before I move on to my topics, first I want to ask: is there anybody here, the audience, who is doing small business? Anybody? Online business? Nobody? Ada? Tak ada? Tak nak mengaku? Okay. If there is, then I want to interview you. Okay. Alright. Okay. Because actually, for my talk today, yeah, this research there is no data yet. Yeah. This research is based on I just received funding from the Kementerian Pengajian Tinggi in Malaysia, yeah, to do research on the SME performance, yeah. So, but basically we will look into the internal management of the organization, yeah. So I'm still looking for information on the SMEs, yeah. So because I've read a lot of articles, right? Most of it comes from Indonesian scholars, yeah. So they are active in producing this topic, yeah. So now me and my team will start to look for the SMEs in Malaysia. So what will be the problems that they face right after the COVID-19, yeah. All right, now. Okay, so this will be the content. All right, and right, so introduction. Right, this is definition of SMEs. I think most of you knows what is SME, yeah, small medium enterprise. Right, so normally the difference between SMEs and the large organization will be in terms of the number of employees, yeah, and your turnover assets, yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. So this is the data that I gathered from the SME Corp Malaysia. Okay. This is an organization in Malaysia who monitors, right, the small medium enterprise in Malaysia. Yeah. So this is the latest data that I have gathered. Yeah, in 2023. Right, and it includes the micro also. Yeah, the micro. But my study will be more on the small medium enterprise. Alright, this is the dia main-main dengan saya sudah. Okay, alright. Okay, now Malaysian SME growth. Yeah, although you can see there's quite an increase, but after the COVID-19 there is a slight decrease, yeah, in Malaysia for the SME. Yang ni I know you also know what is the reason, right? Because during the COVID, most of the SMEs due to the lockdown, okay, they have no business, so they go for bankrupt. Yeah, all right. And this is the data in 2022 and 2023. There's a slight movement. Yeah, these SMEs, they start to come back. Yeah, they start to come back. Alright, so now what will be the impact? Yeah, impact of COVID-19 on the SME performance. Yeah, so here, okay, we know, right, after the COVID-19, most of the SMEs, they are affected. Yeah, so on the operational, on the supply chain, they have issues, right, to improve their performance. Their cash flow, right, they have less cash flow and financial strain because they can't produce. They have no money to purchase their raw materials, yeah, because they want to come back, but they have limited fund, right, to purchase their raw materials. So the cash flow and financial constraint is that. Right, and after COVID-19, before COVID-19, yeah, most of the SMEs, they sell the goods face to face. Yeah, you go to their shops and then you buy the goods from them. But after COVID-19, nowadays the customers the customers, they buy goods through internet, yeah, online. So that will be an issue for the SME, right? Because they need to invest in the technology, right, for this social media, yeah. And also there will be mental health and employee well-being. Why? Because SME, they have to work round the clock to improve their performance. So this will make their employees stress, yeah, because you have to work every day. Okay, you have to entertain your customers. Okay, so there are a few more, okay, impact that will be faced by SMEs, yeah. Right? Okay, what will be, just now is on the SME performance. So what will be the thing that I want to look at in this SME performance? I'm looking at the intellectual capital. Kalau bahasa Melayu dia panggil modal intelek. Alright? So intellectual capital is more on the internal part, internal management of the company. Yeah? For large companies, they don't have issues, right? Because you are financially strong, yeah, and you have money to get expertise, right? You have funding to get good infrastructure. But for SMEs, they don't have that, yeah. So they are struggling, yeah. So intellectual capital is there are three components, yeah, under intellectual capital, which are human capital, structural capital, and also relational capital. Human capital means that your employees, how SMEs handle their employees, yeah. So how do you manage your employees, right? Okay, and for structural capital is your international support, your structure, right? Your patent, right? And also like how you manage your company, yeah? How you manage your company, right? You have your like how you sell your goods, okay? You are using what, media, social, right? Okay, so that will be under structure. Relational capital will be your customers, right? How you handle your customers, right? If you don't give good feedback to your customers, then your customers will not come back to you anymore. That's the problem, yeah, faced by SME. So it is important, yeah, for SME to focus on their intellectual capital, yeah. Alright. This is what I informed earlier, right? So this is one of the article, alright, by earlier our Prof. Mampu, yeah, alright. And the first author is Ahmad Idris from University Muhammadiyah, yeah, right? So he also talks about intellectual capital on the SME performance, and he focuses on the batik SMEs, right? So he states that yes, SME is intellectual capital is very important, yeah, because it will sustain the SME performance, yeah. This is one of the example, yeah. This is 2023, and we also have dia memang tak suka saya lah saya rasa. Okay. Okay. Alright. We also have this Miss Prativi Dwi Astuti, right, from Faculty of Economic and Business Universities, Denpasar. Okay. Also talks about intellectual capital and organizational performance. Yeah. She also focus on small medium enterprise. Yeah. You can see that. Alright. Okay. Okay, so now, okay, so what is its significance to study on intellectual capital for SME? Tengok. Okay, so enhance competitive advantage, right? You need to use the intellectual capital to differentiate the SMEs. When SME have a strong intellectual capital, then you can compete with your competitors. Right? You must have a very good teamwork. Right? You must have a very good staff. Alright, so that your staff can do the job for you. So in order to have a very good staff, what must you do? That's the issue, right? And you must have a very good structure, right? You want to sell your products. So how are you going to sell your products, right? Nowadays, you don't have to have a shop, right? But you must have the system. That system is very important, yeah? And then the last one is on the customers. Don't only promote your product to new customers. You have to also retain your earlier, the loyal, the previous customers. Yeah. So make sure that customers are loyal to you. Okay. So that these things will improve the performance of your SME. Yeah. Okay. So that is on enhancing competitive advantage, improving organization performance. Yeah. You need to align your intellectual capital and then leverage your intellectual capital for operational efficiency. Yeah. You need to be efficient in terms of your operation. Okay. And then enhancing resilience and adaptability. Okay, daya tahan you, right? You must have a strong resilience, right, in order for you to adapt. Okay, so flexibility and agility through intellectual capital. Right, and what are the strategies? Okay, so how are you going to strengthen your intellectual capital? Okay, first you must have a knowledge management system. Right, one knowledge management system here means that what? You have to educate your staff, give them training, right? Provide good technology, right? Utilize the technology, invest in technology. Okay, so that is how you can strategize. Yeah. And this is another research by Haryati. Okay, because I'm presenting in Indonesia, so I show all the Indonesian scholars articles. Yeah. Actually, there are more articles, not only Indonesian, but there are also in Tehran, Iran, yeah. So also in the like Europe, yeah, they are still studying on this intellectual capital, right? So this topic also says that intellectual capital, the system, the technology is one of the way, right, to increase the SME's business performance. So they need to invest in their structure, yeah, capital structure. Okay. Saya rasa saya kena stop di sini. Alright. Okay. Now, human resource development, right? So you need to enhance employee skills and expertise. Yeah. Promote a culture of continuous learning and knowledge sharing. When you have your employees, yeah, you train your employees. Then when the new employee comes in, what should they do? You need to train them again. In order for you to reduce that cost, ask the older employee or the senior staff, yeah, to train the new staff. Alright, that is how you keep up or grow your company. Yeah, alright. Alright, intellectual property management, right? You need to identify and protect your intellectual property assets. You have your name, you have your staff, right? You have your structure. Don't let anybody else, right, steal your patent. Okay, so you need to know the policies, hukum, right? So you can tahu what will be the hukum after I provide in order for that my patent to be kept safe, alright, in my custody. Nobody can take my name, alright. So that is also one of the strategy. Okay, and challenges and barriers. What are the challenges? Financial constraint. This is the first challenge that will be faced by SME. Okay, memang you tak ada funding. Nobody will fund you. no banks will fund the SME if you are the startup company, right? Correct? So what can you do? You get money from where? Crowdfunding, right? Get from your family members, right? That's how you do your startup, right? Okay, so this will be the overcoming, yeah? Alright, organizational culture and mindset. Culture, budaya you jangan budaya pemalas. Alright, orang selalu cakap kalau Malaysia, Melayu ni, malas nak buat kerja, malas. Okay, hari ni you kerja, besok you cuti. You can't do that. Alright, in order for you to improve your company, what should you do? Right, you have to strive, you have to work hard, and you have to implant that attitude in your staff. Kalau bos pun dah malas datang kerja pukul 10, what do you expect your staff to come early, right? Okay, so you have to change that, right? Your mindset, your culture, yeah. Okay, so that is another way, right, to the barriers, yeah. Okay, the challenges that faced by MNC, SME, sorry, because I'm teaching MNC during my class. So, slip of the tongue, right? Sorry for that. Okay, and then we have what? Knowledge management infrastructure, right? Infrastructure means that SME, you don't have any choice, you have to invest in your infrastructure. You must invest to design your product, right? To promote your product through what? You want people, all the people to know your product. So what should you do? Takkan nak word of mouth saja. Right? How do you promote? Through? Social media. Good. Right? So that's what you should do. Right? Social media, you are the TikTok, you are the IG. Right? So there's a case yesterday, one of our colleagues, she lost her bags. Right? And at the same time, there's one influencer also lost her bag. Right? But we managed to find ours. Right? But that is not famous. Okay, she posted in the Instagram saying that AirAsia, I lost my bag. I know, AirAsia, you lost my bag. Alright, so everybody knows about that. Yeah, so that's how you promote. I mean that one is not good lah. But for your product, okay, you need to promote through that platform. Yeah, alright. Okay. Okay, lastly, right, I know not you, I'm hungry for lunch. Okay, so to recap, yeah, the findings. So it is important, right, for intellectual capital, SME needs to focus on their intellectual capital, yeah, alright, and the impact of intellectual capital on SME. My research, I will go around Malaysia to interview all the SMEs, right? Because I have like 2 years to complete that grant, yeah. So I will go around Malaysia. So that's why I came here for this mini colloquium, just to get to know what are other countries SMEs facing, yeah. So that maybe you can share with me how the SME is in Malaysia. Because I heard that in Indonesia that they have a lot of SMEs, alright, and the SMEs is very, even you have the across the road, everything, and you have the SMEs, yeah, and they are very good, yeah. So what are the challenges? These are all the findings that we have now. Okay. Yeah, alright. So this is what I recommend. So SMEs should invest in training. That's the most important part, yeah. And then they need to build network. In order for you to get more customers, you can build networks, alright. And leverage technology and innovation. Not promote your product, you have to have a platform, alright. You have to have a very good platform. And lastly, you have to protect your protect your health. Bukan, you have to protect the name of your company. Jangan sampai, because bila company ni dah bagus, orang dah tengok, wow, okay, I nak ambil lah company dia. Dia guna shortcut. No, you have to protect your intellectual property. Ya, you kena ada IP kat situ. Ya, kena ada hukum. You kena tahu kalau orang ambil, okay, you kena fine. Macam tu lah, alright, okay. Alright, so that's all from me. But before I close, sebab tadi mula-mula ada orang bagi pantun kan, mula-mula kan. So, I'm the last speaker, so they asked me to bagi pantun juga. Alright. Okay, right. Now,